of stones that are no longer serving us, that are not even ours to begin with, we call in Tunkasina, which resembles and translates to grandfathers. These grandfathers are the protection of the law of free will. They protect personal freedom. And so when we think of free will, we think of maybe doing whatever it is that we want, but it's actually choosing a different story than what we are subjugated to experience, choosing a different story than what we are told to live, kind of like choosing a different reality than a 9 to 5, stepping out of the matrix, because they say the revolution will not be televised, and this is because it's the mentality. You could be in the matrix, work the 9 to 5, but not have the mentality of that world to influence you every day. And so this is what the universal law of free will welcomes, is choosing differently than what we are told, choosing differently than colonization and indoctrination, through creation of our own internal peace, our own internal queendom, our own internal kingdom. Yeah, and so with this universal law of free will, we ask the grandfathers that live inside of us, that work with our lineage, to be a strong masculine force. So we as women, and we as carriers of the womb, and we as people of the stars, and people of the earth, and people of the sun, and people of the moon, we ask for these grandfathers to hold this pillar of light, so we can feel safe to fully and let go of this baggage that no longer serves us. And we ask for us to walk in alignment to our heart's desires, alignment to our purpose, so we can be a gift upon others, so we can have peace with our past, our present, and our future. And we can have this realization of the person who we were when we were a child. Yeah, and so our child, we may know those things that have been influenced from our parents. We may be stuck in those spaces because our soul gets infractated, like it fractates, like it like breaks apart when we experience trauma, like a lightning bolt, boom, in the soul. That's why we're connecting into the soul's essence. That's why we're calling forth the light within the soul's essence. We're calling forth for the Holy Spirit to mend the cracks that have been inflicted from trauma, these stones putting on our heads, in our hands, breaking our bones. Yeah, we're calling in the light to mend these scars and these woundings within the womb, within the heart, within the mind, within the spirit, within the soul. Yes, and so our grandfathers with the universal law of creation welcomes in also Quan Yin, with the universal law of symmetry. Kuan Yin is the essence of that water. Kuan Yin and her essence of that water correlate with Jesus's connection to the water, correlate with our own connection to the purity of water, of the fluidness of water. And in the water, we access this great karmic council of the 7 stars and the 7 sisters of the stars. And again, all of this lives within inside of us. All of this lives inside of our very form of creation. And even in the Bible, they talk about the star, like people being made out of stardust, like Jesus calling his people stars. And so indigenous framework is very used to this understanding. And a lot of indigenous tribes are connected to the 12 lost tribes of Israel, yeah? And so to clarify this karmic council, will come and be of service to help you release what is no longer serving you, help you to release the karma that you've been carrying on for your ancestors, because they say the karma from our ancestors is like a curse. And so many people are walking in this curse without them realizing it, especially when it comes to thoughts of ourselves. Yeah, so when we have self-inflicting thoughts, we think, some people, if they're overconsumed with the spirit, they may think that it's a demon or a dark force outside of them. But we create our own demons and we create our own angels, and we are most likely, when that happens, troubled with a generational curse within our lineage. And so this is why it's so important to imagine this bowl of light within our womb, and huli, you let go, you flip over that bowl of light and you let go of those stones. And it may take a few times. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be just one time. You might have to, like when you think of somebody that has hurt you, you might have to do that over and over and over again, and pray for forgiveness for that person, but also allowing, the greatest process of this is allowing yourself to feel those stones. So if you're looking at your bowl of light and you see all these ancestral stones and this karma and this bullshit that you've been going in circles and circles around with, and then you don't know why, and you created suffering in your life, and you look at these stones and you have yet to feel them, and they've just been sitting in your bowl of light, and you're like, oh, I want to feel this. And maybe you'd even know some of those stones were there, and you want to feel the stone. Imagine yourself picking up that stone and feeling what that feels like. What is it? Shame. Okay, what does that feel like? Okay, what is the opposite of that feeling, and how is that connected to my purpose and the gift that I have to give to others? Okay, the opposite of shame is liberation. Maybe the gift that I'm here to bring onto this planet is liberation of shame. Liberation and also encouragement of true essence, of authenticity. What is shame? Shame is inauthentic. It is no longer, it's a form of deceit within the self. Because you don't only just deceit the people around you when you're walking in shame, but you deceit your connection with Creator, because Creator did not make you out of shame. Creator made you out of joy, out of love, out of abundance, out of light. We are the light. We are of the light. So and we could utilize our dark to be the light in the darkness, and we could utilize the dark to be our teacher. And this stone has been a dark space, a karmic hold to that darkness, and when it hinders the path of your connection and your creation and your liberation within life, then it is time to put it down. So you could just sit with it, and it's important with whatever you pray with. Like if something comes up and you need to take a few days with that one emotion, with that one stone, it's very important to sit with those stones and sit and feel into it and let it go when you're ready. Because usually these stones, these dark karmic spaces that people hold on to, it's because it's a protector of our light. And so when there's maybe like hundreds of stones in your bowl and you're just like, I don't know what to do with it, and I don't feel like I want to let them all go, sit with it for a little bit. Sit with it and cry if you have to, make amends if you have to. Find reverence for all of those trials and tribulations and all the darkness that we've experienced, so the blessing of the lesson can occur. The blessing of wisdom can be put in your medicine bundle.